And welcome back to Infinity Park for this Pool A match between the U.S. Army and the United States Marines. I'm Brian Visitor alongside former Eagle player Dan Power. And we got the Army in their white jerseys, Marines in the Navy. And Army just started out where they left off in the first game. They got all sorts of stars, and Will Holder was one of them in that first round match that they annihilated the Air Force 41-0. Really started the day off right. And here's Army. They've done such a good job spreading the field. They get it out wide. And again, an early try by this United States Army team. And again, Dan Power, another very impressive try by this Army team.
Well, no surprise, they are the defending champions. The last team to win this tournament that wasn't called Army is the Marines. They're looking to climb that mountain yet again. But against this very, very talented Army outfit who got the first win of the day in this pool. 41 points to 0 over Air Force. This is the first look we've had at the Marines. And again, Army showing their class on the replay there, just distributing the ball beautifully. Will Holder unsuccessful with the conversion. Score remains 5 points to 0. Army with an early lead here over the Marines.
And Army just about to kick off, and again, very impressive so far. They spread the ball so wide on this field, and it's been some outstanding team tries by this Army squad. Andy Locke with the restart. The Marines are going to come down away with this. Kalani Aholali. Army quickly on defense. Did they steal that ball? But they not releasing the tackled player. And the Marines are going to have an opportunity here with a full arm penalty. Let's see what they do with it. Still inside their own half. Haven't had a sniff outside the midfield stripe yet. And just kind of standing still at the moment. Ohalali, double switch on the outside. Didn't really fool anybody for this Army squad. Avoids a couple of tackles though. Marines still in possession. It's ball's free. That ball's out. Back inside. Will Holder. Instrumental. Oh, they get that ball away. Yes, they did. And Anthony Welmers gets it outside again to Rocco Mara. And another beautiful try by this Army squad. Rocky Maurer scores his second of the day. And one of the things that we love to do here at the Serevi Rugby Sevens is bring up some special guests, and we have one with us right now, Nick Tricarico, reffing here at the Serevi Rugby Sevens. This is your second year, right?
Yes.
Tell us about how important it is for young referees to develop in a tournament like this, and how much this Serevi Rugby tournament means to the young refs.
Well, it's a great place for us developing refs to see some high-level rugby. We had a good warm-up with the Red Bull Uni Sevens the day before, and all of these athletes here are competing for spots on that Eagles team to be noticed, and they play really good rugby. So it's a great place to see some good teams.
And you had a game earlier today?
Yes.
One game, right?
Yes.
And who was that?
Wow. That was the Royal Air Force and
SoCal Griffins.
SoCal Griffins.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks, Dan.
That was a great game.
Yes.
Very good.
Yeah.
And we're going to have a kickoff here. Army's leading 10-0. That ball is going to find some space. Nope. The Marines cover quickly. Again, still inside their own 22-meter line. Nice little shifty move on the outside. Back inside, looking for help. Will Holder, such an intelligent player. Marines do get it out. Inside the 22-meter line. Here come the Marines outside now. Finally got a good break. They got the sweeper to beat. That's Andy Locke. Andy Locke, can he do it? Can he bring him down? Yes, he's going to bring him down.
Play.
Kept his possession. Ball goes into touch. And Nick, you also had the pleasure and the hard duty and the work to be the manager of the U.S. Sevens team at the Olympics.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank
that
you.
must have been quite a thrill.
It was quite the experience, one I won't forget.
Yeah, were you in the, did you walk in the parade at the beginning?
I walked in the opening ceremonies. Nothing quite like here in USA Chances. You walk out that tunnel.
Step in, White.
Walking with all these incredible athletes.
Who was the biggest diva in the squad, and why was it Danny Barrett?
That's because Danny's personality. He's a character. He takes over the group, but he's a great player.
Now, watching the Olympics, especially here in the US, the amount of support that rugby got was huge. Did you feel that as much down there? Was it a well-supported sport? And how, like the media, both nationally here and then internationally, how was the game supported down there?
Absolutely. Stands were pretty much packed all days. It wasn't just down to the knockout days. Pool rounds, people were cheering. People were going crazy. NBC, Sports Center, media was all over. The big names, Nate Ebner, Carl Niles, everybody had their fair share, so it was pretty cool to see.
Well, here comes Army with another foray deep in enemy territory. Close to the line. Did they get it in? Yes, they did. Outstanding effort from the Army to make it 15-0. I think that was Michael Melendez-Rivera that scored that try with about a minute left in this first half. And Nick, what about the kid down there? I know a lot of people are wondering, what did the guys get? I mean, they all got their USA Rugby gear, but did they get the USA Olympic gear that everybody else seemed to have?
They did. Nike and Polo Ralph Lauren, they kitted out the team pretty well. Kit Christmas is what they like to call it. Down in Houston, we went through team processing, almost too much stuff to take down.
And how about the other events you saw after the rugby? Again, disappointing. Yeah. The United States, so close though. I mean, there was a couple of things in the Argentina game I think they'd like to have back, and maybe the last play of the Fiji game, but it seemed like they were building. They played well against Fiji, and then they won the 2 games at the end that they should have. But what was the feeling afterwards from the team?
It was one of contentment, I think. Can't really. We were going down there to get a medal. We were going down there to be on the stand, and we didn't reach that goal. But it's one of growing the sport. It's one of reaching a different goal of spreading the game that everybody loves to play.
And here we go with the Marines. One last foray, possibly inside their 22. Still, it seemed like Dan Power. It seemed like the Marines have been camped down here this entire first half. Either Army putting pressure on the Marines, trying to find something now. Finally scored through.
It's not through lack of effort from the Marines, that's for sure, Brian. I think just the quality of this Army side is really shining through. They went quite deep into the cup side of things last year. Again, they just ran out of gas. They do play a significantly larger number of games than the other squads here, the military pool. But it's just a great side when you've got guys like Locke and Holder in that squad. Nate Conkey as well, been here forever, just a workhorse.
Yeah, Will Holder and Andrew Locke have been influential players early on here, and I'm sure they're going to be the rest of this tournament. Will Holder especially has had his hands on the ball a number of times. And for those just joining us, we have Nick Tricarico, manager of the USA teams at the Olympics. And Nick, now what was the buzz about rugby at the Olympic Games? I mean, obviously it's going to be in Tokyo in 2020. Was there any feeling that it's going to be a no-brainer, that it's going to continue on?
I think so. Tokyo has a big rugby following there, so the showing down in Brazil was pretty good. I think it'll only be bigger at Tokyo.
And that's going to be it at halftime. 17-0 in favor of the USA Army. And we're going to come back with our second half action. USA Army 17, US Marines 0.
The Serevi Rugby Town 7s is brought to you by Mile High Sports Magazine, Radio AM 1510, daily and online at milehighsports.com. Everything sports in the Mile High City.
Between the Marine Corps and the United States Army. Army, again, very impressive. Haven't given up a point yet in this tournament. 17-0. They lead the Marines. And Dan Power, let's take a look at this first half highlight. 3 tries, all by the Army.
It certainly was. The first 2 coming to the same man, and Rocco Mauer, the beneficiary out in the wing here. And it was just good lead-up work from his teammates inside, and it enabled him to get the space and time to capitalise. Again, just showing great ball distribution, Army early on. They continued to pressure. This one to Melendez-Rivera come off the back of some great defense as well. And let me tell you, I give him a 10 for the effort there. We were talking about the Olympics with the springboard. Sensational stuff. Not an ounce of splash there.
The awkward landing. Let's take a look at the Marine Corps huddle. Words of inspiration trying to get back in this game. And you mentioned, Dan, that lack of hustle from this Marine side team or Marine Corps team. It's just a very good Army squad out there. When you have the likes of Will Holder and Andrew Locke, Rocco Morrow, all experienced sevens players. Let's take a look at those lineups that we missed. Will Holder, again, we talked about him. Melendez Rivera, one of the try scorers. Welmers, he doesn't get a lot of play, but he does a lot of the good things. He set up 2 of those tries in that first half. And for the Marine Corps,
yeah, a lot of good players there, a lot of returning players as well. We've seen some of these guys in the last few years. Sean Raw's the captain in the 5 jersey. He was here, part of that initial team that won the tournament 4 or 5 years ago.
And we are at the start of the second half. Army takes it down nicely. Will Holder gets it out wide. Nice spread. They do so well in spreading that field, does Army. Able to get a full arm penalty. And for those just joining us, we still have Nick Tricarico up in the box. And Nick, you've ref 15s, you ref 7s as well. What's the difference?
It's a much faster game. As you can see here, watching this game is nonstop and plenty of pace to burn here. You got to be just as fast as these players and just as endurant as them. So it's a much faster paced game. 15s is a lot of stop and start, and this just never ends.
Now, advice for young referees just starting out, thinking about maybe picking up the whistle. What advice would you have for them?
Be coachable, be consistent, and ref as much rugby as possible.
What about the relationships on the field? I mean, there's some refs that like to talk to players, and there's others that kind of run a really tight ship. What's the balance?
It's whatever works for you. Everybody has their own personality. Just do what works for your own personality. Some guys are a little more extroverted and can joke around with players. You get Nigel Owens, for example, can be a bit of a comedian. Other guys maybe just a little bit more reserved, down to the point.
Here's a full arm penalty, whistled that time by Emily Shea. And now the Marines, they got to get it out wide. Surely they got to score here. Oh, they had a 4-on-2, held it up. That was a try they left on the field. But here they keep coming back. Now they get it through this time. And it's Kalani Maholali. He's the one who cut it back inside. He scores it himself this time to get the Marines on the board. Still in it now, 17-5 with a conversion. It should be 17-7. And the Marine Corps right back in it. Well, Nick Tricarico, we want to thank you for your time. Congratulations on the management of the U.S. team down in Rio. Glad you had a great time down there. And I look forward to seeing you in San Diego soon.
Appreciate it, guys. Thanks.
All right, cheers, Nick.
Take a look at the replay, Brian. They certainly took the long way. They say the quickest point between A and B is a straight line. The Marines, they just did a little bit of a different route, but they got there in the end. And they got the try. That replay brought to you by Alpha Graphics. Increase your reach with marketing and print services from Alpha Graphics, agdigitaldenver.com. Great sponsors of the action here at Infinity Park.
Yep, they've been a long-time supporter of rugby here at Infinity Park. Nicely, oh, is that knocked on? Oh, hitting them in the air. They're going to get a yellow card. No wrap, I guess it was the call. But that was Will Holder that was involved. And here comes Army again. Pretty impressed with the way they spread the width of the field. There's our try score. Melendez Rivera still on his feet. Big, strong runner, but he gets bundled down that time right at the 22-meter line. Haven't talked much about Matty Tago. Creates that 2-on-1 out wide, though. And it's that man, Will Holder. Never seems to be going full speed. Saves the energy, I think, but still has the power and enough pace to score in the holder, in the corner. And Dan Power, again, another impressive try by Army.
Brian, they say the greatest players in the game just seem to have time. It's something that they always have to create. You know, you look at some of the great scrum halves, fly halves, the centers, they always just seem to be playing with time on their side. Will Holder is one of the guys out here for Army who always the same thing. You talked about it, he always just seems so casual, but he's very, very aware of his space. You see him dot that one down the corner, and he always buys himself time. Very, very classy player out of West Point, and I'm sure he went terribly close to making that Olympic squad as well.
Yeah, he was down there. He was in the deep running. Played in some of the summer tests for the U.S. 15s at fullback position. I thought he did a really good job. That kick's going to go awry. And you know who else was a sevens player that was also didn't look like he ever put out a full effort was Waisali Serevi, the man this tournament is named after. There's a look at that, Andrew Locke, little quick tap kick off the restart. It went to travel 10. He saw the Marines back too deep. And there's Rocco Maurer trying to get his third. Is he going to have enough speed? Yes, he does. Dots down in the corner. And just like that,
Try.
little heads-up play that time by Andrew Locke, the skipper of this Army side. You saw the Marine Corps not paying attention to the restart. Just kicked it about 11 meters, picked it up. It got out to Maurer, who scores his third.
Nice little hat trick there for Maurer. A little bit more work to do with that one as you see him get into the in goals there to get his third try of the game. There's Mark Drone.
Mark's been around a long, long time for this with his Army squad. Really developed a good chemistry. There's a nice long kick just inside. Will Holder, he can do it all.
He gives the water boy the thumbs up and tells him, I'm done. Grab someone else.
Is he done? Yes, he is. Army's got a full contingent of 7 players along the stripe. Will Holder, again, 2 very impressive games so far. Nice high kick. Oh, that's going to be contested. They're going to bring that down. Yes, it's going to be Salamone Kepa.
Knock on.
They're going to take that initial knock on, though, by the Marines on that kickoff.
Here.
This is the first time we've seen the Marines today. Not the end of the road for them. They can come back from just one
Time on.
loss.
Sub.
There's Emily Shea, the referee.
Okay. Time on.
I talked to Richard Every,
Time back
the
on.
rugby manager for the USA. He's very, very high on young Emily Shea, one of the referees of the future, following in the
Fine.
footsteps of one of the ladies we saw earlier,
Set.
Leah Barrard,
Yep.
one of our top referees in the US. And some exciting young referees coming through to match the talent of the players as well.
There's Welmers, showed a little bit of strength there, taking on 2 Marines. Goes to the floor, though. Now they're trying to see if there's an overlap out wide. Strong on the feet. That was Nate Conkey. He's been a star for this Army team a number of years at the Serevi Rugby Town Sevens. Starts at ruck. Good passing, Andrew Locke now trying to create something on the outside. There's Welmers. Can he get in there by himself this time? Yes. No table setting necessary. He scores the try this time. And one more try by this Army squad as we're nearing the end of this Pool A match. 34-7 now in favor of the Army.
Yep, Sergeant Welmers, as he's officially known, gets a good try in the corner. Another one of those guys who's played a little bit of rugby at the higher level.
About a meter in.
This very, very talented outfit that Army has put together. And really, at this point, Brian, having seen all the military branches now, it's hard to see any of them really testing Army over the weekend.
Yeah, they look really, really strong. They just got all the tools you need for a good Salvins team. They got good power, good pace. Their handling has been very good. And the way they spread the field's been pretty impressive. That's going to do it, 34-7 on that missed conversion. Stay with us, folks. We got the Air Force and the Navy coming up next.
Thanks.